Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today's topic of discussion is antibiotics summary. So, antibiotics are mainly divided into three categories on the basis of their mechanism of action. Number one is cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Number two is protein synthesis inhibitors. Number three is nucleic acid inhibitors. Let's start from cell wall synthesis inhibitors. These include beta lactams and non beta lactam antibiotics. Beta lactam antibiotics have same mechanism of action. Beta lactam antibiotics binds to penicillin binding protein, which is called transpeptidases. These are the proteins which are involved in cross linking of peptidoglycans, which is a component of cell wall. So beta-lactam antibiotics binds to penicillin binding protein, which is transpeptidases, and block cross-linking of peptidoglycan in the cell wall. While non-beta-lactam antibiotics have somewhat different mechanism of actions. Beta-lactam antibiotics include penicillin, cephalosporin, monobactam, carbapenems, glycopeptides, and miscellaneous antibiotics. Let's start from the penicillins. So penicillins are divided into different categories. And what is the mechanism of action of penicillin? I have already told you penicillins are beta lactam antibiotics which bind to penicillin binding protein. So penicillins are divided into different classes and each class has its specific spectrum. Clear? Starting from natural penicillins, these include penicillin G and penicillin V. Penicillin G is available in both IV and intramuscular form, while penicillin V is only available in oral form. These are the prototype beta-lactam antibiotics. Remember that penicillin G and penicillin V they are used for gram-positive cocci like Streptococcus pneumoniae, Streptococcus pyogenes, gram-negative cocci mainly Neisseria meningitidis, spirochetes mainly Treponema pallidum, and gram-positive rod mainly Actinomyces. And these are beta-lactamase sensitive. Clear? And what are the adverse effects of natural penicillins? Answer is hypersensitivity reaction, direct COMS, positive hemolytic anemia, and drug-induced interstitial nephritis. Next is aminopenicillins. These include ampicillin and amoxicillin, and they cover various organisms, and you can remember by mnemonic helps. H for Haemophilus influenza, H. pylori, E for E. coli and Enterococci, L for Listeria monocytogene, P for Protease, S for Salmonella and Shigella. Clear? They are aminopenicillins, and you have to remember that amoxicillin has better oral bioavailability as compared to ampicillin, and you have to remember that ampicillin can cause pseudomembranous colitis. Next is anti-staphylococcal penicillins. These are called penicillinase resistant penicillin. That means they are beta lactamase resistant. They include dicloxacillin, neficillin, oxacillin. Clear? They have the same mechanism of action as that of penicillin, but the difference is they are penicillinase resistant. Why? Because they have bulky R group, which blocks access of beta lactamase enzyme. Penicillinase resistant penicillins, they are also called anti-staphylococcal penicillins because they are used in the treatment of Staphylococcus aureus, except MRSA, which is methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Clear? And the side effect is interstitial nephritis. Next is broad spectrum penicillin, which are also called aminopenicillin, ampicillin, and amoxicillin. When you add beta lactamase inhibitors to aminopenicillins, they become broad spectrum penicillins. For example, you have to add sulbactam to ampicillin. Clear? What are the four important beta lactamase inhibitors? Answer is CAST, CAST, C for clavulanic acid, A for avibactam, S for sulbactam, T for tazobactam. Why they are added? Because they inhibit the beta lactamase enzyme so that penicillins are protected from the beta lactamase enzyme. Remember that clavulanic acid is added to amoxicillin, sulbactam is added to ampicillin, avibactam is added to ceftazidime, and tazobactam is added to piperacillin so that their activity is enhanced. They are called broad spectrum penicillins. Last is anti-pseudomonal penicillins. These include piperacillin, ticarcillin, and as the name suggests, they are useful for Pseudomonas, which is multi-drug resistant. Clear? This was all about penicillins. Next is cephalosporins. Cephalosporins, same mechanism of action, beta-lactam antibiotics, but they are less susceptible to penicillinase. Clear? You have to remember that cephalosporin cover almost majority of the bacteria except for bacteria, and you have to remember by mnemonic LAME, LAME, L for Listeria, A for atypical organism which include chlamydia and mycoplasma, M for MRSA, and E for enterococci. And the cephalosporins are divided into five categories, five generation. First generation cephalosporin include cefazolin and cephalexin. Cefazolin and cephalexin, they cover gram-positive cocci. They are used for gram-positive cocci plus Proteus mirabilis, E. coli, and Klebsiella. You can remember by mnemonic plus PECK plus mean gram-positive cocci, P for Proteus mirabilis, E for E. coli, and K for Klebsiella pneumoniae. Also, cefazolin is used prior to the surgery to prevent Staphylococcus aureus wound infection. Next is second generation cephalosporin. These include cefaclor, cefoxitin, cefuroxime, and cefotitan. They cover gram-positive cocci plus Haemophilus influenza. You can remember by HENS. Add HENS, H for Haemophilus influenza, E for Enterobacter, N for Neisseria, S for Serratia marcescens, and same spectrum for first generation. So second generation cover first generation plus HENS, hence. Third generation include ceftriaxone, cefixime, ceftazidime, clear, and they can cross blood-brain barrier. That means ceftriaxone is used for the treatment of meningitis, gonorrhea, disseminated Lyme disease, while ceftazidime is used for Pseudomonas. Fourth generation includes cefepime, which can also target Pseudomonas and gram-negative, gram-positive, while fifth generation include ceftaroline, which can kill MRSA, but it cannot kill Pseudomonas. This is side effect. Clear? What are the adverse effects of cephalosporin? Hypersensitivity, autoimmune hemolytic anemia, disulfiram-like reaction, vitamin K deficiency, and also when an individual is allergic to the penicillin, that means that same individual is also allergic to the cephalosporin. So don't use cephalosporin in penicillin allergic patient. Clear? And also cephalosporin increase nephrotoxicity of aminoglycosides. Clear? This was the cephalosporins. Next is monobactam, which include aztreonam. Same mechanism of action. You have to remember two important points of aztreonam. Number one is they are synergistic with aminoglycoside. That means when when there is renal insufficiency, aminoglycoside cannot be used because aminoglycoside is nephrotoxic, but you can use aztreonam. Number two, they have no allergenicity with the penicillin. That means if someone is allergic to the penicillin, you can still use aztreonam. Clear? But aztreonam is only used for gram-negative rods. It doesn't act against gram-positive rod and anaerobes. But two main advantages: it can be used in penicillin allergic patient. Number two, it can be used in renal insufficiency patient. Next is carbapenims. Carbapenims include imipenem, meropenem, ertapenem, doripenem. Clear? They are the broad spectrum antibiotics. Very broad spectrum antibiotics cover majority of the bacteria, but you have to remember that they are always administered with cilastatin because they are degraded by renal dehydropeptidase 1 enzyme. Clear? So carbapenims are always administered with cilastatin because cilastatin inhibit renal dehydropeptidase 1 enzyme, which is involved in inactivation of drug in renal tubule. Clear? They are very broad spectrum antibiotics, but you have to remember that meropenem antibiotics is very safe because it has less chances of seizures and it is stable to dehydropeptidase. So if you are using meropenem, you don't have to use cilastatin. Clear? And also ertapenem is not active against Pseudomonas. Clear? So this is very important. And important side effect is carbapenims can cause seizures. Exception is meropenem, which doesn't cause any increased chances of seizures. Next is glycopeptide antibiotics, which is vancomycin. Okay, vancomycin. Clear? Vancomycin is non-beta lactam antibiotics. That means it doesn't block transpeptidase enzyme, but it prevent the synthesis of peptidoglycan by binding to d-alanine portion, and also this is bacteriostatic against Clostridium difficile. So it is used only for MRSA, MRCA, Staphylococcus epidermidis, Enterococcus, and Clostridium difficile. And the important side effect is it can cause nephrotoxicity, ototoxicity, thrombophlebitis, and vancomycin infusion reaction. Also, it can cause DRESS syndrome. Clear? So this was all about the uh, cell wall synthesis inhibitors. Also some other categories like bacitracin, cycloserine, fosfomycin. You have to tell me in comment section where in this condition, where these antibiotics are used. These antibiotics are used for what condition? You have to tell me in comment section. Next is cell membrane inhibitors, which include colistin, clear, colistin and daptomycin, clear. They are called polymyxins, clear. They are called polymyxins or colistin. Clear? Colistin is called polymyxin A. They are cation polypeptides because they bind to the cell membrane phospholipids of gram-negative bacteria and disrupt cell membrane integrity. Whenever cell membrane integrity is lost, cell components will leak and cell will ultimately die. This is used only for multi-drug resistant organism. For example, Pseudomonas, E. coli, Klebsiella. Polymyxin B is a component of triple antibiotic ointment for superficial skin infection, which may include bacitracin, clear, and fosfomycin. So this was polymyxins, which are cell membrane inhibitors. Next is protein synthesis inhibitors. They are divided into two categories, clear, because bacteria ribosome is 70S, which has two subunit, 30S smaller subunit, 50S larger subunit, clear. So some are 30S inhibitors, some are 50S inhibitors. And you have to remember that all protein synthesis inhibitors are bacteriostatic. Exception is aminoglycoside and linezolide. They are bactericidal. Clear? 30S inhibitors include aminoglycoside, tetracycline, ticacycline, while 50S inhibitors include chloramphenicol, clindamycin, macrolides, and linezolide. Clear? So let's start. For tetracycline include tetracycline, doxycycline, minocycline. They are bacteriostatic, bind to the 30S ribosomal subunit and prevent the attachment of amino acyl tRNA complex to a site of ribosome. Clear? Also, they have limited CNS penetration and all drugs are eliminated by kidney. Exception is doxycycline. And also whenever you are taking the fluoroquinolones or tetracycline, don't take with the milk, antacid or iron containing preparation, because all these compounds contain divalent cations and the divalent cations inhibit the absorption of tetracyclines and fluoroquinolones. Clear? And what conditions they are used? They are used for rickettsia infection, clear, Borrelia burgdorferi, which can cause the clear Lyme disease, clear Mycoplasma pneumoniae, clear Rickettsia, chlamydia. They are also used for treatment of acne or community acquired MRSA, and they have serious side effects like tetracycline can cause discoloration of teeth, inhibition of bone growth in children. Also, they are photosensitive, teratogenic, that is why they are contraindicated in pregnancy. Clear? Next is tigacycline. Tigacycline, same mechanism of action, bind to 30S and bacteriostatic, but they are used for multi-drug resistant organism, only two organism, MRSA and vancomycin resistant enterococci. Next is aminoglycosides. Aminoglycosides include many drugs like gentamicin, neomycin, amikacin, tobramycin, streptomycin. But important side effect is aminoglycoside are nephrotoxic and also they cannot kill anaerobic bacteria because they require oxygen for uptake. That is why they are ineffective against anaerobes. Clear? And aminoglycoside are bactericidal and they inhibit the initiation complex just like linezolide. So two antibiotics inhibit the formation of initiation complex. One is aminoglycoside, which is bactericidal, and other is linezolide, which has variable action, which is 50S inhibitor. Clear? Aminoglycoside are mainly used for gram-negative bacteria, and they are synergistic with beta-lactam antibiotics. Neomycin is used for bowel surgery, but they have important side effects like nephrotoxicity, neuromuscular blockade. That is why contraindicated in myasthenia, ototoxicity, and teratogenicity. Next is macrolides. Macrolides include erythromycin, azithromycin, clarithromycin, erythromycin clear. They inhibit the translocation just like clindamycin, but they are bacteriostatic. Clear. And macrolides are used for the treatment of atypical pneumonia, which is caused by Mycoplasma, Chlamydia, Legionella. They are also used in the treatment of chlamydia, gram-positive cocci, especially if penicillin allergy, and Bordetella pertussis infection. And what are the side effects of macrolides? Answer is macro. M for motility issues, A for arrhythmias, long QT syndrome, clear. Cholestatic jaundice, R for rash, E for eosinophilia, clear. They also increase the concentration of theophylline because they are metabolic inhibitors, cytochrome P450 inhibitors, especially clarithromycin and erythromycin. So this was macrolides. Next is ketolides, telithromycin, same mechanism of action. Macrocyclic, which include fidaxomicin, which is used in the treatment of pseudomembranous colitis caused by Clostridium difficile. Next is chloramphenicol, which inhibit peptidyl transferase enzyme, and this is used in the treatment of meningitis, which is caused by encapsulated organism, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Clear? And what is the side effect? Anemia, which is dose dependent, aplastic anemia, which is dose independent, and gray baby syndrome. Clear? Next is uh, oxalidinions, which include linezolid. Just like aminoglycoside, linezolid inhibit the formation of initiation complex, but they bind to the 50S ribosomal subunit, and they are also used for the treatment of MRSA and VRE, just like tigecycline. And what is the side effect? Answer is myelosuppression, peripheral neuropathy, and serotonin syndrome. Next is lincosamide, which include clindamycin. These inhibit translocation just like macrolides, but they are used for anaerobic infection above the diaphragm. So you have to remember, if they are anaerobic infections above the diaphragm, antibiotic used is clindamycin. If anaerobic infection below the diaphragm, antibiotic used is metronidazole. Clear? So clindamycin inhibit the translocation, and this is the same mechanism by which macrolides act. Clear? So they are used for anaerobic infection like bacterioids, Clostridium perfringens, which causes aspiration pneumonia, lung abscess, oral infection. Also, they are used for group A beta hemolytic streptococci. But important side effect is pseudomembranous colitis. You have to remember that any antibiotic can cause pseudomembranous colitis, but it is treated by vancomycin, fidaxomicin, and metronidazole. Clear? Next is streptogramins, which include quinipiristin, dalfapiristin, same mechanism of action, they inhibit the translocation. Clear? Some other antibiotic, which is fusidic acid, rifaximin. Rifaximin belongs to the rifampin, and this is used in the treatment of hepatic encephalopathy. Next is quinolones. Clear? Fluoroquinolones, they have many generation, while first generation include nalidixic acid, second generation include ciprofloxacin, third generation include levofloxacin, fourth is moxifloxacin. Clear? Fluoroquinolones inhibit the topoisomerase enzyme, which is type 2 called DNA topoisomerase and topoisomerase 4, and fluoroquinolones are bactericidal. Clear? Just like tetracycline, you don't have to use divalent ketynes because they inhibit the absorption of fluoroquinolones and tetracyclines. They are used for gram-negative lots of urinary and GIT tract. Also, they are used for otitis externa and community acquired pneumonia. What are the important adverse effects? They can cause tendinopathy, tendinitis. That is why they are contraindicated in pregnancy, breastfeeding, and children because of cartilage damage. They can also prolong long QT syndrome, clear, and they can cause tendon rupture in elderly patient and in patient taking prednisolone. Also, they are cytochrome P450 inhibitors. Clear. Uh, Next is clear. Uh, Next antibiotic is antifoliates drugs, which include sulfonamides. Sulfonamides include sulfamethoxazole, sulfasoxazole, sulfadiazine. They inhibit the dihydropyroid synthase enzyme. So, for synthesis of folic acid is inhibited. They are bacteriostatic, but when they are combined with trimethoprim, they are bactericidal and they can cause Stevens-Johnson syndrome, urticaria, folate deficiency, optic neuritis, nephrotoxicity, agranulocytosis. Dihydrofolate inhibitor include trimethoprim, pyrimethamine, and methotrexate. Methotrexate for human cell, trimethoprim for bacteria, and pyrimethamine for protozoa. And when we mix sulfonamide with trimethoprim, answer is cotrimoxazole, which is called Bactrim. Clear?